Hey everybody, just wanted to create a quick video tutorial for how to properly use Zoom. So I'm going to demonstrate how to set up a Zoom meeting and also properly secure the Zoom meeting. So Zoom has been a popular video conferencing tool for a while, but it has recently exploded in use with the current coronavirus pandemic. So lots of people are using it. Unfortunately, hackers are also using it as an attack method where, any meeting that's not properly secured, if people get the link, they can just join. And so we've seen incidences of random people joining meetings, hackers joining meetings, and if the bad guys get into a meeting, they've done things where, they take control of the screen and they share inappropriate content. Just wanted to give everybody some tips on how to properly secure your Zoom meetings, and just, it's going to be a quick tutorial with how to set a meeting up. So here I am, I'm logged into my Zoom account. It's a paid account. There is a free version, and it's going to work similar. So what we're going to do is first we're going to schedule a new meeting, and another recommendation I have is always create new meetings for everything, because if you reuse links and you don't have security on them, those links are going to come out, and you could even if it's not malicious intent, somebody else from a previous meeting might accidentally click on that link and pop into a different meeting that they're not supposed to be in. So it's always best to schedule new meetings. So that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to create one here as a test. It's going to call it my meeting. It's going to happen, right now at 10. Sure. You can specify whatever day and time. This helps for calendaring and scheduling, and set the length of time for it. If it's recurring, you can check that there. Requiring registration is a way to help secure it. What that's going to do is capture a person's name and email address. That is another good tip for security. I'm not going to set that up for this time, but a really good tip for every single meeting is to require a password, and that's automatically generated. You can override it here. I usually just let it stay for what it is. And then you get to choose if you want people to be able to use video. So typically that option is on. Audio, I always recommend allowing both. Some people may not realize that if they're on their desktop computer, there's no microphone input or things like that. I mean, most laptops have it, but always allow for both, just to give people options. And then you want to enable the waiting room. And you can enable join before host, but what the waiting room is going to do, the host, and in this example, I'm the host, I'm setting up the meeting, I actually have to let people in to the meeting. So what that means is, if somebody did try to hijack your Zoom meeting, they're not going to get in unless you let them in. So it's a really good tip right there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and then the other security tips actually come within the meeting. So I'm going to save this one, and now here's all of the meeting information. So because I put a password on this, the password actually gets encrypted in the URL here. So if you actually wanted to force people to enter in this password to join, if you just cut out everything after the 3, that's the actual meeting link, and then they'd be prompted to put a password in. And then you can copy this invitation, and you can copy all of this text and send it out into an email or a calendar invite, and that's going to give everybody all of the information they need to join. Everything else looks good, so I am going to, and also you can, add it to your Google Calendar, Outlook calendar, and things like that right from here. So I'm going to go ahead and start this meeting. It's going to launch. It's going to ask me to open up Zoom, and here's my Zoom right here. And now we are in the meeting I just created, and yep, there's me, and there's my background. I'm going to just stop my video so you don't have to see me. There's my name. All right, so other tips. What you want to do is also disable participant screen sharing. So down here at the bottom, as the host, I've got this awesome ability to share my screen, but in case anybody else hijacked in or just wants to be funny and disrupt the meeting, what you can do here is click this little arrow, go to advanced sharing options, and then who can share? Only the host. And now nobody else is going to be able to share. Now we're just going to save that there. So that's another good tip. Another thing to do is, once you know everybody is in the Zoom meeting and nobody else should be joining, So let's say you anticipate 10 people on the call, all 10 people are there. You can click on Manage Participants. You would see all of the other participants here. Obviously, there's no one else on this meeting. Come down here to this More button, and you're going to go Lock Meeting. Now it says no new attendees can join this meeting once it's locked. Yes, so now nobody else, even if they have the link, they have the password, everybody else is locked out. So if you want to be if you're trying to run company meetings and there's something, some sort of penalty for people being late to the meeting, well, now you have a way to lock them out. But it's also more of a security feature. So just wanted to show you guys that. Another tip that I have is, and it's been really popular, everyone gets a nice big gallery screen of all of their team up on their screen, and it's showing the meeting, and they're like, hey, look at us, we're doing our meetings virtual using Zoom, very cool. I love the idea of people doing that. However, if I took that screenshot right now, and I'm going against my own advice right here, but everybody can see my meeting ID, right? So if you didn't have your meeting ID password protected, and you didn't, and that meeting link was still active, then anybody can just take that screenshot that you posted and grab that meeting ID and join your meeting, and that's how they're going to get in. Now, if you followed along in this video and you locked other participants out and you password protected and all that, that's going to help prevent that. And also, if you shut down or only use meetings for one at a time and always recreate the meeting link, you can prevent that. I'm going to be deleting this as soon as we're done so that this meeting ID is no longer valid. The other thing you're going to want to do when you generate those links, you want to do your best to not put those links out in public. So posting them on social media, you got to be very careful when you're doing that. Just know that if it's out there to the public, anybody can join, especially if they're on your website, things of that nature. So try to just share it with people via email. That's the best suggestion, but obviously there can be some use cases where you might be having a public type meeting, but just know that there are risks that anybody that has that link could potentially drop in and disrupt your meeting. One other tip that I have for everyone: when Zoom asks you to update the software, please do that right away. With heavy use and hackers trying to get in, they are going to try to compromise these systems as best as they can. As Zoom patches vulnerabilities in any ways that this can be used maliciously, they're going to release updates to make it more secure. So anytime you're using Zoom and Zoom says, hey, I need to install an update, please do that. And that concludes this video of how to set up a simple meeting and do some basic security to help protect your meeting from being attacked from any attacker or even just a jokester in your group. So hope you enjoyed the video, hope this helps, and if you have any questions, you guys can always reach out to us.